Hi, and welcome to Mindful, Beautiful, and Thriving, a podcast series by Tharaka Foundation focused on youth mental health. Before we begin today's episode, I just wanted to let you all know that all content that is found in our podcast is created for informational purposes only. This content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or therapy. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition, and never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard in this podcast. Thank you so much, and without further ado, let's get started.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. This is your host, Punam, here with Sister Rini, and today's special guest is Shamara Morgan. Welcome, Shamara. Thank you so much for taking time out from your busy schedule and talking with us. Please do introduce yourself and tell us more about your parenting journey. Where are you joining us from? Anything and everything you want us, our audience, to know about you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Um, I've been a corporate mom for probably over 20 years, or a little less than 20 years, because my son will be 20 this year. I am a single mom. Originally, I had hit their father, and then we divorced. I chose to leave because I wanted peace within my soul, and I needed to be able to shine the light that I came to the earth to shine, and I felt like that was being dimmed greatly. So, in order for me to show my daughter how to shine and how to show my son how to make space for the women in his life to shine, is I had to step out on my journey. And I have, like I said, a son who's 19. He will be 20 in August. He's a rising junior in college. My daughter she just turned 18 in April, and she will be graduating on the 22nd of May. I'm excited. I'm feeling all sorts of emotions about that one. That's my baby girl, and she's going to be going to Harvard. So we live in North Carolina, and she's going to be way up in Boston, 10 to 12-hour drive or a plane ride away. And then I have my bonus daughter, who is my daughter's friend from school, who I took in from a situation she was dealing with in her home. So, and she's going to UNC Charlotte, and I just love being a mother. I love being a mother. I know that sometimes as moms, we can kind of lose ourselves in becoming moms because we are enveloped in their lives and raising them. And especially if we have daughters, we want to make sure that they feel proud, that they feel empowered, that they are doing everything that they want to do. If they're in sports or if they're in extracurricular activities, we want to make space for them. And so my life has been evolved around them. And recently, I've just taken some steps back to kind of redefine myself so that when I'm an empty nester in a couple of months, the sting is less harsh and I'm not sitting there wondering, what am I supposed to be doing now? So that's where I am right now.
Thank you so much, Shamara, for sharing your journey. You said you're going to be empty nester soon. You're redefining yourself because yeah, the life has been revolving around kids. So tell us a little more. How are you redefining yourself?
Well, as a woman who just turned 51 last month, um, actually hasn't even been a full month, and someone who is walking through, navigating through perimenopause and burnout and neurodivergence, it was very easy to lose myself in things that were going on, wearing a mask of performance, being the best mom, being the best employee, being the best student, trying to fit in, especially when you're a neurodivergent person. and you're dealing with neurotypical people who think, well, you're supposed to act this way, you're supposed to speak this way, you're supposed to study this way. And that was not, cohesive to who I was. So I spent my life with masks on. I spent my life performing. And now perimenopause has given me the opportunity to take it all off because I can't move forward anymore with the mask. It has depleted my energy. And in order to move forward in a healthy way, I have to now stop. I have to pause. I have to pace. I have to really be conscious of who I am and where I'm spending my time and who I'm spending my time with and what it is that's energizing me versus what it is that's been depleting me. And that's been a good thing. I've taken my time to sleep when I need to sleep. I actually just took a nap not too long ago, and I'm learning to not shame myself and condemn myself for giving my body what she needs. If I have to sit down, if I want to read instead of, looking at the computer, I'll do that. If I want to scroll on, social media, looking at, I love they have these little cockatoos who dance whenever the music's on, or they'll have the cats or the dogs. I love, 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 love those. They're hilarious and they make me feel good. Um, so I'm learning to do what I need to do in the moment. And that's another thing, taking every moment by moment and not looking 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, because it's too much. I can't control that. I can only live in this moment right now. That's what I have the capacity to do. And that's where I'm going to stay. I'm learning not to stretch myself too thin. I'm learning to say no. I think as a parent, especially as a mother and a single mother, it's so important to learn how to say, no, I don't have the capacity to do that right now. No, I can't cook that for you right now. No, you have to clean this up. I'm not going to clean this up for you. Because when we give too much of ourselves, we run dry, we run empty, and we have nothing left to give ourselves. And so I'm learning that. I learned it the hard way, but I'm learning to there's a term in the Bible called repent. I've learned to change my mind and to change the way that I was going so that I could start on a journey that is more feasible to who I am and what I need in the moment. And so, I am learning that sometimes, it's okay to speak what you need to speak. It's okay to go where you need to go or do what you need to do without apology. And I think that is like one of the things I'm really grateful for this season in my life is I'm learning to take everything off and do what I need to do for me without apology. And that's redefining who I am, letting go of the people pleasing, letting go of again, the performance. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't have a desire to climb the corporate ladder anymore. I just don't. It's not important to me. What's important to me is being able to have time to do the things that bring me joy, that have time to do the things that, energize me. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Thank you, Shamara. Again, you said so many things. I think a lot of women, what you're saying, might be feeling the same, not learning to say no, running the corporate race, losing themselves, putting many masks, right? So I would invite Sister Rini to share, why do we put so many masks? And then why do we exhaust ourselves, then hit that road or wall where we think we have done enough? No more. I want to be who I am. I want to lead that life, what I deserve, right? That peace, that love, that presence, the joy you talked about. So, Sister Rini, we would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Sister Poonam and Sister Shamara. I I love the authenticity and the decisive power in the way Shamara is just like decided what she wants, what she doesn't want, what is right for her, what is not right for her. Although it does remind me for all of us, the story of the prodigal son. I'm sure we all have heard that, right? In Christianity, there's a story of a prodigal son, and where the son leaves his father and goes on a journey, and he makes many mistakes on the journey. He ends up being in a pigsty, eating with pigs. And then it's like, okay, I've had enough. I want to go back to my father. And it's like going back to the father. And father is just standing there with his arms open, no questions asked, right? And it's like there's a big celebration as a result. So I find that all of us, we do find that each mind has its own journey, and there are no mistakes. I really strongly believe that there are no mistakes. It's just that we have to traverse that journey. We sometimes have to go all the way to Egypt and then go back to India, let's say. So it's like, okay, but then when you realize that your happiness is not lying out in outside objects, people, your work, your relationships, and even your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, that becomes more subtle. But at least the first step is like, okay, my happiness is not residing in the places I was looking for it. I think that's what Shamara is really sharing her experience, that she realized that, okay, I was wearing so many masks because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be acknowledged. I wanted to protect this identity, which I thought was me. And when I try to, then I build a wall, a defensive wall around me. And then when I've built that defensive wall around me, and anybody kind of, I will not allow anybody to have a chance to attack it. because it's so strong a wall. It's defending some false self-image that I have created about myself. And again, no regret, nothing to feel, like Shamara said, no guilt, no regret, no shame. It's not like I'm not holding anything against myself. This was part of the journey to go away from my father and then come back to my infinite truth. And that's fine. And so that's why the moment we recognize that okay, for me, this is the point where it comes to the point of being with a pigsty. So it will be a different point for each mind, and that's fine. So then we don't judge anybody else if they're still walking in that direction away from themselves. And that's fine, because I did that too. I needed to. And each one will have a separate and a different rock bottom point, I find. So it's like I come back and I see things differently now. I don't look for my happiness in things, people, relationships, and to be more subtle even in my emotions, thoughts, feelings, and states of mind and state of body. But I really find I am that source of happiness that I was looking for. I was looking for myself, literally. It's like I remember one of my teachers had once told me, where are you looking for yourself? And they said, take a step away from your, like even at this physical body level, if you, just to give an analogy, trying to explain it to me, they said that just take a step away from yourself. And I said, how can I take a step away from myself? I mean, wherever I go, there I am. I can't really take a step away from myself. And then they said, okay, take a step back towards yourself. And I said, that's not possible. Not possible. I said, it's just like that. It's just that you've never moved away from yourself, but through your thoughts and feelings, you feel as though you have moved far, far away from yourself. So just to know that you are always that peace and happiness, that you're through your thinking and through your relationships and through your activities, you're constantly looking for it, looking for yourself. You're already standing, and you're already standing where, from where you're looking for happiness, you are that happiness. And that was like an eye-opening moment. And it was like, whoa, wait a minute. I need to start re-looking at my entire life. And that's what I think Shamara was sharing with us. And when that happens, you don't hold anything. There's nothing to forgive. You've done nothing wrong. There are no regrets, no shame. That was meant to happen for me to come back to myself, so to speak. So then when you're not holding anything against yourself and you're living, as she said, just what is possible for me now. There is no past, there is no future. And past and future may be some ideas in my mind through my thoughts. I mean, that can be a little bit more subtle, but just even at this level, we can see that past and future is not in my control. What is in my control is what I am, how I am experiencing my current experience with complete equanimity or with resistance or with clinging, whether it's a situation or my emotional state or a relationship, it doesn't matter, or my job, whatever it may be. So I thought her story was very inspiring because it's all just in very, it's in a very beautiful day-to-day language she has expressed that you can just make decision now and you will make the decision to the best of your ability from what you know you are. And then the next moment and the last moment will actually depend on how you're feeling now anyways. So why waste my time on thinking about the future and being worried now? And then when the time comes, so-called time, when it comes, then it is what I'm feeling now is what is going to be presented to that time and that moment. So why not just come from peace, which is my innate nature? And that is who I am. And what she said is that uh, that's from there, it's just a sense of peace that actually pervades your thoughts, words, actions, relationships. It's not like it's always perfect still, as far as state of mind is concerned. But I'm more aware of that state of mind, which cannot pull me out of my truth. Or that state of body or that state of emotions. It cannot pull me out of my truth. Rather, I can pull the mind to dive deep into my silence. That's what I find, that it's just about being now. And beautiful example, I think, you said that, Shamara, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that it could be anything that you want to do in this moment. It's just from the place of fulfillment, not from the sense of lack.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Just, you know, I'm at a place, I think, you hit it on the button when you talked about, I guess, the prodigal son and I grew up in the church.
Ah,
I grew up in
beautiful.
the church. So that's my foundation. I did walk away from the church because what I was programmed to believe was that I had to please an external entity. And if I didn't do certain things, I wasn't pleasing to that external entity, and therefore I wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy, and I would go to hell,
Ah,
and we would sing songs about I'm not worthy, and, you saved a wretch like me. And, ultimately something clicked within me. And I'm like, if I am made in the image of God, why am I not worthy? Why do I have to humble myself in the way that humble is not bad, but in the way that it's meant in that text is you're like on the bottom of someone's shoe, like gum. So, someone, and I'm like, that's not the image of God. And really, that's not what Yeshua said. So I did. I came out of that and I had a lot of anger at the time when my eyes started to open. And I started to read and study the original text. And now I'm at a place where I'm not angry. I am more so just longing for truth. And what I'm coming to find is that when I looked for God, I saw me.
Beautiful.
I saw me. And I understand now that the power is within me and it had always been within me. And so it's one of the things that I sit and teach my children, why I'm so authentic and transparent is because I want my children to see that I'm human like they are. I make mistakes like they do, but these mistakes really aren't mistakes. I'm learning there is no black and white, right and wrong, if you're willing to learn and grow from it, you know, because every step that you make will lead you to the next place and will cause you growth, will cause you wisdom, will cause you knowledge if you allow it. Now, if you sit in it and you don't allow it, you suffer those consequences, but eventually you'll learn that, hey, I don't want to make this as hard as this is. I have control over some of these consequences and I don't like this karma. So I'm gonna sow some more positive karma, and so I learned that and I learned to humanize myself and also recognize the divinity within myself so that I wasn't demonizing myself anymore. I wasn't demonizing my sadness. I wasn't demonizing my depression. I wasn't demonizing my love for myself, because I was taught, you don't do that. You don't put yourself before God and you don't do all these things. And it's like, well, if you really have a relationship with God, then you understand that God is within you. And that's really what Yeshua was teaching us, is that we have no separation between the two, that we are one, and that we are supposed to be one with our neighbor as we're one with the divine. And
Absolutely.
so understanding that released me. It set me free from the need to please and the need to be something that I'm not. And then when perimenopause came around, whew, it's like, okay, let's take off this last layer. And so I welcomed it. It was a lot, but I welcomed it. And I'm still journeying through. I'm going to put him down because he doesn't know what he wants to do. I'm still journeying through that, but I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable in front of my children because I want them to know that they can do that for themselves. It's okay. It's okay to share your feelings. It's okay to work through things. It's okay to feel crazy sometimes,
Absolutely.
but if you surround yourself with people who are accepting, well, number one, if you're accepting of you,
Mm-hmm.
and you allow yourself to belong where you are, then you will attract the people who accept you as well. But you have to accept you first. You have to love you first. I talk to them about that with relationships as females looking for relationships with boys.
Yeah.
You attract your mirror.
Mm-hmm.
That person is just going to come back and reflect to you some things that you haven't seen within yourself. So
Absolutely.
if you don't like what you see, you've got to heal within. You've got to change some things within and become what you want so you can attract what you desire. And I've become that for me. And that was my goal, was to heal within and to love myself so much that that's what I project on the outside and reflect back to myself. And so, we talk about, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about born in sin and shaped in iniquity. And what I've understood sin to be is missing the mark of
Absolutely.
who
Mm.
you are. And we've been so programmed in this society, whether it's religiously, politically, culturally, from your family, from your society, to look outside of ourselves and to take on other people's ideas and other people's practices that we completely forget who we are. We come so far from ourselves. So we're shaped in our parents' ideologies, we're shaped in our churches'
Mm.
ideologies and principalities and all these things. And we're like, well, what do we think? What do we actually think about this thing? You
Mm.
know? And so we spend that our youth doing that, and then come midlife. we have this midlife crisis come, and perimenopause will hit and say, okay, you ready to take the mask off? Are you ready to deprogram? Are you ready to see who you are, who
Mm,
you came to this earth to be? Are you ready to remember? You know?
absolutely.
And
So
so that's where I'm at. I think perimenopause is a beautiful place because it causes us to sit down and remember who we are and to deprogram. So,
absolutely. I don't know what Sister Poonam would like to share at this point, but um, what one thing that Shamara was saying, like divinity is within me, and that's why in Christianity it says, "My Father and I are one."
our one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not like divinity is somewhere in some other realm or some another dimension. Divinity is me having the human experience.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
and so it's like, as you said, there's nothing to I love this personality, however it appears to me in this moment. And that's what your children are also picking up subliminally without you even saying anything, I find. So they see you, they learn more from how you are than
Yes.
what you say to them.
Very much true.
So beautiful.
I felt the same. It's very beautiful, Shamara. And we have been doing this series for a while. And that's what we are telling parents. Hey, you are the role model for your children. And it's okay to welcome all emotions, nothing to hide. They are learning from their parents, right? When you were talking about mask, yes, parents do put that mask on themselves. Hey, we are strong, while inside maybe they're broken,
Yes.
right? So we don't create safe space for our kids and they look outside for acceptance, love, and whatever they look for, right? When we create that space within our house, then kids will like learn, they will open
Yeah.
up that beautiful relationship. Like you were saying, when you start to love yourself, you start to accept yourself, that's what you will project, right? Like whomsoever you meet, it doesn't matter at workplace or at home, right? So that's what we have been telling parents, be who you are. And that's again, everybody has a journey as we are
Yeah.
talking,
That takes
right?
work.
Everybody.
It takes work.
Yeah. Sometimes work and sometimes it is just one click away, like we
Yeah.
have been discussing on this series, like who am I,
Yeah.
right? Like we do identify ourselves with roles, responsibility, corporate title, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't know, like I am that divine being, I
Mm-hmm.
am that spiritual being having human manifestation.
Yeah.
So with this, like sharing what you did today, it's a reaffirming, that's what we have been talking. And today with your story, you are like saying the same language, same things.
Yeah.
We are one. We are
Yeah.
one.
I'll
And
tell you
even with our
this.
kids also.
It took me a long time to get here because I will tell you the programming was deep. The programming is deep and it's very hard to shed. There's blinders that we have on for a time, and there's a time when they're called to come off, and it's different for each person. So each person's journey and how they do it and when they do it, it takes a while. And it may be harder for some than others because of how deep the programming is. Again, in this country, and not even just this country, but I've spoken to, some of my Indian friends and the arranged marriages and things, and having to stay in relationships and not get divorced because it's so shamed, to do. And having to get into medicine or having to get into engineering. If you go off and do your own thing, you're cast out or you're looked down upon or you're shamed by your family. And black and white and Hispanic culture in America, we're very religious, very Jesus, 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 even though we're not following the teachings of Jesus. We're following like the war gods and stuff in the Bible. And we don't, it's so ingrained. I mean, you think of the major Christian song, Amazing Grace, how sweet that sound that saved a wretch like me. You know, those are the songs that we sing when we get in church on Sundays. We're singing, How Great Thou Art, or, that you could look down upon me and my wretchedness and in my sin and save someone like me and love me enough because I'm this, in the eyes of God. So that's hard to come out of. It's so hard to come out of. It's a journey and it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of courage to admit, okay, you know what? Something, the math is not mathing here. Something doesn't sound right. And then admit it and voice it because you're dealing with a culture. You're not supposed to question the authority that's in the pulpit. If they say it, it goes. You're not supposed to question what's in the Bible, even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's contradicting itself. You're not supposed to question it. You're supposed to believe it with all your heart, mind, and soul. So when you come out and you're speaking against it, now you're heresy. You're a heretic and everything. And so it's really being courageous enough to be authentic and say this doesn't make sense, and then be willing to lose everything that all the foundation that you've had. It's now cracked, it's crumbled. The family that you have to be willing to walk away from. The people, your friends, you have to be willing to walk away from. I had to walk away from my family for 6 years in order to heal myself, in order to become whole. And those things are not easy. It's very difficult. It can be a very lonely place when you're taken out of that and you're put into that the cocoon so that you can heal and you can grow and you can shed. You think of a lizard or a snake. When they shed their skin, they're at the most vulnerable parts of who they are. Even crabs, they shed their skin. They're the most vulnerable because they have no outer protecting. So I kudos to, I always say kudos to people who are, who identify on the LGBTQ, because the amount of courage they have to come against or to stand up against what society says is correct or wrong. And then for those who are awakening and they're saying no more, I'm not going to believe that just because you say it's true. I'm going to think critically. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to get out of this misalignment because it's bringing me down. It's depleting me. It's keeping me in hell. And I want to ascend higher. It takes a lot. It's not easy to put that mirror up, you know.
Yeah, it's like you said, it requires a lot of courage. And sometimes you need a crisis, as you said, midlife crisis, right?
Yes, yes,
And it's like more than a crisis. That crisis becomes an opportunity
yes.
to go back to your truth. And yeah, and I find that what you were just sharing about, it depends how deep that conditioning is.
Mhm.
And because sometimes even not just religious, but even spiritual organizations or religious organizations, we, not that they are wrong, it's just that I have invested my identity in it.
Yes,
And if I have invested my identity in it, so it's like taking the skin off, really.
yes.
And it is true.
Painful.
It is because whatever it's like you uprooted and you don't know where to be replanted.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, that is
yeah,
exactly, yes. So you're like, okay, who am I now? Where
exactly.
do I go? What's happening? I'm feeling a little wobbly, like I don't have a
Exactly, in a
foundation
limbo.
anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's okay to have that courage to be in a limbo. I think it requires courage to be in the limbo.
Yeah.
And from there that trust comes that it will come to you naturally,
Yeah.
what is right for you.
For you.
Yeah. And that requires courage. And that courage is not from rebelliousness. but it is from divesting yourself of all the identities, that courage.
Yeah.
And it's very true. It does require that first step in the right direction.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that you said what's right for you,
Yeah.
because it may be right for someone else, but from
Abs-
my journey, it's not. And that's the one thing is I wanted to create a space for my kids, my children to understand. I'm trying to get out of the word kids because those are like baby goats, right?
Divine beings,
Right,
angels.
divine beings, right. To create space for them to understand, hey, this is your journey. I will stand behind you,
Yes.
whatever your journey is. I want you to learn from every step that you take, though, but I'm here for
Absolutely.
you. I can't press my vision for their lives on them. I'm the vessel that brought them into this earth,
Mm.
but they came here for specific reasons. And my job is to turn them back to themselves so that they can learn at a young age what it is that they're passionate about, what it is that they desire in their hearts, to find out what their voice is saying and to be led by that, and to
Absolutely.
know I'm always here to support them. And I thank the universe that I went on this journey, because had I not gone through what I went through, I wouldn't know to do this. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Had I
Abs-
not gone through that pain, and that pain was real,
yeah.
had I not gone through the breaking, had I not gone through the isolation, I would not be able to have the wisdom that I have to be able to guide them, and be a support for them without me pressing my agenda and my ego onto them. And I think that's where we as parents have gotten it wrong is you need to go to school to study this. You need to go to get a job here. You need to be focused on this. You need to dress this way. You need to. No,
Mm-mm.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. We are having a hard enough time governing our own lives, and we want to govern the lives of our kids too.
Absolutely, absolutely. They have the right to make their own mistakes. And I don't
Yes,
even don't like the word mistakes, but I always call it miss/takes.
I like it.
It's like a child never learns how to walk or to run a marathon without falling 10
Without
times.
falling.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
We learn strength by getting up.
absolutely.
I always think about when you see a butterfly hatching from its cocoon, if you go to hatch that cocoon for the butterfly, it stunts the strength of its wings. So now you've crippled it. It only
Exactly.
has 2 weeks on this earth anyway. But now the 2 weeks that it has, it's now crippled. It can't fly because it hasn't developed the strength from breaking through the cocoon.
Absolutely. 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 The metamorphosis.
Yeah. And we try to protect our children from so much. We don't want
Mm.
them to hurt, but we're also, ill-equipping them for life.
Suffering is a gift.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You learn resilience, you learn resourcefulness, get
Absolutely.
wisdom, so.
So beautiful.
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shamara, for sharing your beautiful journey with us, inspiring us and inspiring other parents. Feeling very grateful to have you here. Thank you, Sister Rini, also for joining and share your wisdom. Take care, everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
both of you.
Thank you so much.
You are listening to Mindful, Beautiful, and Thriving, a podcast series by Tharaka Foundation. As part of our youth series, we will be releasing new episodes every month, so make sure to continue to check those out. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we thank you so much for listening.